Okay, we are back to the infamous screen. Ooh, hanging it all out here. Okay, so look, I'm going to continue this thing because I think it's good information. I know how to tune my voice, my vocal expression, and whatever, so that people don't think I'm angry or something. Okay, so what we're going to call we'll just call this series oh boy, what can we call it? The idea is that I want to show people here how to differentiate, okay, between the stuff that is there's certain, okay, all hi-fi is expensive, right? We all kind of come to that conclusion, and certain hi-fi that, and I showed, I think, in the last one of the last videos where I showed the difference between my product, which was kind of like a chintzy, something that was slapped together that I knew had all the sales points, versus like Jeff Rowland's piece. You can see clearly that one is worth more and one is the real deal. One is worth a premium, one maybe not so much worth a premium. Okay, so the intent here of me showing the different brands, I don't care what brands they are. Okay, it's not important to me what brands they are, and I'm not trying to point out the brands. What I'm using is I'm just using a common, something that is actually a product, it's actually in the market right now, and we can do a study of it, just like we do with anything else. Now, what I'm wondering here, this is my first question, is do these people just put together boxes with modules in it? Okay, like that amp that I showed you guys with mine with the tube and everything, okay, that had the B&O module. Well, okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm coming here and I look, and it says, and basically what I get is that they use Hypex Encore modules, okay, and that they have pretty boxes, that's for sure. They're beautiful, I guess, depending on what you like, but they're very nicely machined, and and they talk about a high-end case. It kind of seems like very they talk a lot about case. Let's see, headphone amp. Okay, so it uses Hypex buffer. Okay, and then the buffer. Okay, so then I'm talking about a buffer. A buffer is that same thing that I had on my front end. Okay, that vacuum tube buffer is a simple little thing. You can buy module buffers on eBay if you want to. So it's ice power. It's an ice power, and then it's Encore. So they use both Hypex and ice power. And so far, and then there's integrated, and so there's some unique products. Should you want to go sideways and go into collateral or lateral moves into other products, but it is interesting how. Okay, so if I go, well, the one that really is like, okay, so if we go to the top and we go to, this is one is plain to see, where'd it go? There's one that is a new Nord one. No, that's not it. There is one, where'd it go? There's some sort of, let's see, special, like, there it is. Okay, so let's see. Alchemy monoblock. This is the high end, the thing, okay? So I see our exquisite high end case coming soon. So maybe this is a case company. Maybe that's what their deal is. They're saying, they're all about the cases, and then you choose, you want a B&O module in there, you want something else. But these guys are like the case designers, and they're they design really cool cases, because it says, okay, Norm one, it will be alchemy machined from solid billet. Okay, so that's fine. I wonder who's been doing that since 1970. Jeff Rowland. Machined from solid billet with 20 millimeter walls, hard anodized black body polished. Okay, Furatech mains. Okay, so the Furatech, WBT, Neotech. So it's like, okay, so it's off the shelf parts, right? So we could go to Parts Express. We could go to Parts Connection in Canada. We could go to Jeff Glowacki at Sonicraft, and we could pick up parts from those guys. They're great guys. I buy from them, and we cocould grab Furatech and and put it on a box. And I guess that's what this is. That's all I can see from this, is that, because that's kind of what they're pitching real hard here, is that they've got all this hardware that they're telling me about, like what brand switch they have on the outside of the box, what brand binding post they have on the outside of the box. Okay, let's see, right here it says, the case is all about finish. Okay, wing in at 10K. Okay, so it's heavy, right? Audio jewelry, right? I get it. Okay, the best wire. Will you accept that? The best wire? You'll just take that? That's a trip. Okay, that's all they say is the best wire. That could be a lot of stuff. Rhodium XLRs. Copper, mains, inlets, high-end silver. Okay, updates to follow. So it's not even here. But okay, so it's interesting. So I wonder, are they just an elegant case maker? And then you just toss in whatever module you want. It sort of seems that way. Okay, but if that's the case, then you just want to know that. You're like, okay, so where am I going to put my hard-earned money? Am I going to put my hard-earned money with, a DI? This is almost like DIY for the guy that doesn't want to DIY himself, but he wants the price of a DIY kit, but he doesn't want to do it himself. So he pays somebody else to DIY it for him. That's what this appears like to me, just from looking at this. It's like a company that does DIY for people that don't want to DIY. And they're less money than because they're kind of kits, and they throw modules together and parts together that are off the shelf, nothing really proprietary at all. Maybe the buffer design, but I mean, that's easy to do proprietary. I did it. So interesting. We're going to just explore this because here, what I'm trying to show here is that not all expensive hi-fi is a ripoff. That's my point. My point is there are things out there that cost 15 grand for an amp that are totally worth 15 grand for an amp. Okay? And I'm trying to show you how to have the eyes to quickly discern if something is inexpensive or expensive. There are little cues you can get from manufacturing, corners and edges and things like that will tell you immediately the expense level of that manufacturing. And so I'm just sort of trying to educate you as the consumer to be more educated. When you go to the shows and when you look at these products, I want you to be sharper and be more educated so you know what you're getting, because it's really sad when I go to someone's house and they've spent a ton of money, especially when it is the really good gear. And either someone has sold them a bill of goods and then never showed them how to set it up. Like I went to a guy's house, he had a whole AccuPhase. It was the most gorgeous, and TAD, man. It was TAD speakers and AccuPhase through and through. And I was like, oh my God, so gorgeous. And it sounded horrible when I walked in there. I went to his 2 monitors and I gave them each like a little toe in, and bam, the image was there. And he was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I just did it that fast. And he was like, oh no, so then I carried on going through the rig piece by piece and dialing it in, and by the end the guy could not believe it was the same system. Well, when you sell somebody something, you kind of have a responsibility to help them set it up, I think. I don't know, maybe not, but anyways, so that's what this is here. So we'll do this on a better foot. I don't know who these guys are. I've got no bone to pick with them. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with their brand at all. In fact, it's cool. Okay, it's great. What I'm doing is just trying to be aware of what type of product it is. What is this type of product? I would consider this DIY for people that don't want to, but they want the price. So this guy has very nicely is going to do the work for other people, and I think that's a great. I think that there's definitely a position for this kind of company. In hi-fi, but let's just keep everything real, right? Okay, this is not there's this is different, okay? And I think people have a hard time discerning the difference between something like and I keep going back to Jeff Rowland piece just because I don't know. I've not really had one that is so how do I say this, custom to the nth degree. There's so many things that every time I talk to him, he tells me about other design features that aren't even in his marketing material. I'm like, dude, you got to put all that in your marketing material, but he's a man of few words. He likes to just prove it, and I can relate, man. That's the best. But anyways, so certain things, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to say, I want to show you that the whole industry isn't insane, okay? Some people are insane. Some people aren't. Some companies are. Some companies aren't. But we're going to look at how to cost these things out, and which ones, how can we tell the real ones that are really worth it maybe, and the ones that maybe not so much, okay? That's my whole point for this, okay? So thanks for joining me. See you.